We will discuss logic and what is the role of logic in philosophy. So there are several reasons why do we discuss this logic. It helps actually in structuring the thinking and evaluate the argument and promote the clear and rational discourse. So when we talk about clarity, so clarity of what? So clarity in the thoughts, idea and concepts. It ensures that ideas are expressed precisely and without ambiguity. So what is logic? Logic is actually the study of reasoning, particularly the principle and criteria of valid inference and demonstration. It helps in distinguishing between good and bad arguments. For example, if it rains, the ground will be wet. And suppose it is raining, so that ultimately meaning that ground is wet. So this is logical structure of argument. Now there are two different types of reasoning. One is inductive reasoning and another one is deductive reasoning. So let's start with deductive reasoning. There is one base. So in philosophical terminology, we say that premise. So premise is nothing but the base, right? So now, if the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. For example, we start with the deductive reasoning. So premise 1, like all humans are mortal. And premise 2, that one of you, suppose if I take a name of you, so you are a human. So that means you are a mortal. And when we talk about inductive reasoning, so inductive starts from specific to general. Deductive was general to specific. So how does it start? Premise 1, for example, the sun has risen every day so far. The sun will rise tomorrow, right? So specific, when we observe specific event for certain period, so then finally we come with some kind of conclusion that okay, this thing will happen. Then there come argument, validity and soundness. So now let's see what does it mean. Let's start with argument. So argument is actually a set of statements where some are premises and one is conclusion, right? And validity, if argument is valid, or you can say the argument is valid if conclusion logically follows from the premises. Okay, so for example, all cats are reptiles. Tom is a cat. So can we conclude that Tom is a reptile? Yes. So the argument is valid. The conclusion follow from the premise. But it is unsound because whatever premise we have taken in this case, those are false. Those are not true actually, right? So we have just assumed some kind of situations. Then what is soundness? Soundness means, for example, you consider premise 1, all mammals have hearts. Dogs are mammal, so dog have hearts, right? So now here this argument is sound. So now we will discuss about square of opposition. Square of opposition is actually diagrammatic representation. So right now we are not going to make a diagram, but you just try to understand because these are different type of propositions. So proposition, you must have heard that some kind of statements, right, which are yet to prove, right? So propositions, and what is the logical relationship between those propositions? For example, contradictories. So where both cannot be true or false, right? So one is true, another one is false, another one is true, the first one is false. Then it comes to contrary, where both cannot be true but both can be false. Then there are sub-contrary. Both cannot be false, but both can be true. Then there is subaltern. Truth of universal implies truth of a particular. Now let's see some example. Universal affirmative. What are those? All dogs are friendly, for example. So this is an example of universal affirmative. Universal negative. No dogs are friendly. And there is a particular affirmative. Some dogs are friendly. But when we talk about particular negative, some dogs are not friendly. So these could be some kind of example. You can have a different example once you go through the different type of reading material. So you will get it more clear in your mind. So I hope you could get these some basic concepts in philosophy. So thank you.